Working in my architectural plans, I needed to add wall tags to my drawing using this multi-leader. I realized how easy my life would be if somehow I could insert my multi-leaders with the full text in AutoCAD. So let's see how we can do that today, how we can streamline that process so that we can quickly finish or we can quickly add wall to our drawings. So the way I'm gonna do it is combining this multi-leader with a macro command. Macros are simply a series of commands joined together in a small piece of code. We have created hundreds of AutoCAD macros here in the channel and privately for clients and so on. So the first step is to add anything to our tool palette. If you don't see your tool palette, you can open it with Control 3. And for me, that's the easiest way to create a macro and start testing it. So once we get the correct macro, we're gonna go ahead and move to our ribbon where we're gonna create three different options or buttons or commands over here to insert multi-leaders um, with default text. All right, three different options. So let's start then. I'm gonna quickly draw a rectangle and click and hold and drag it to my tool palette like so. Why? So that I can go to the properties by right clicking on it and I can create this command. I can call this any way I want, but I'm gonna call this tag or wall tag or lazy wall tag. Anyway, so over here you can add a description and so on, but the reason why we're using our tool palette again is to start creating this macro and testing things out. Once we have the code, we can jump to the ribbon. So also gonna show you how to create an image for your command, but we'll see that later. All right, so I'm gonna edit the command string option. Right now is locked, but if I change the flyout to no, we'll be able to start. So I'm gonna leave the CC option as that's a nice way to cancel any active command when we use this macro, and we're gonna start. All right, so okay, so one of the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna click OK for now to keep the changes, right? And let's see what happened when we use the multi-leader command, right? So the regular multi-leader command, we can see all of the different options here at the command line. And over here, if we click the options tab over here, we could click that or simply type O, right? When we create a macro, we try not to click or select options, but instead type the character. So that way, if we are able to perform the command only with characters, we will be able to also add those characters to the macro code. So let's do that. Let's type O for options. And then I'm gonna here start writing these different options so I don't forget, right? So first we wrote M leader, we pressed an enter, we used the character O for options, and we pressed another enter again. So I'm writing this down so I can add it to my code, to my macro code. So over here we have different options, but I'm gonna pick the content type. And again, I'm not gonna click, but I'm gonna look here, and the C is blue, meaning I can type C for content type and press enter. And I'm gonna write that down also. C and enter. Now I'll need the block option, which um, we can use the character B for that and press enter. Let me write it down. And now um, we need a block name for our multi-leader. In this case, uh, the block name would be, any block name that you want. But let's see. mm, right now we don't have the exact name, but let's try. So let's see if we. I don't know if that block exists here, but I'm just tag square, and let's see. Nope, it's asking me still invalid input. So I'm gonna have to cancel that, but I'm gonna write that down where I stopped. I stopped on the block name, and I'm gonna need to find the name, right? Otherwise, this won't work. So let me see what happened if I explode this. Let me go to properties, and this name is wall tag. Okay, let's try that. um okay, so let's see. So I think we had tested this enough on the command line. I'm gonna translate it to our macro here by going to the properties, and I'm gonna simply write down what we just tested. M leader, enter, a semicolon, it's equal to an enter. Then we said O, enter, C, enter, B for block, I believe, enter. And then we needed the name, and the name was that wall tag or tag wall? I guess it was wall tag. And of course, always we need to accept that with another enter. All right. So let's go ahead and test and see what happens when we do that. So I'm gonna click OK, and let's see. We are getting stuck. Let's open the F2 key on our keyboard to see what's going on. So we're starting the multi-leader command. We're saying options, that's fine. We're saying content type, that's fine. We're saying enter a block name, wall tag. Okay, we said wall tag, that's fine. Now we have all of these different options again. So of course we want to exit now these options. So you can see the X is blue highlighted. So we will need to press X. Let's do that. X and press enter. And now let's see if we can click and click and hit OK. Okay, great. All right, so we were missing the X on our code, so let's quickly add that before we forget. So let's add X for exit, right? The options. Let's press enter to accept that exit. And then we clicked on the screen, right? We click a couple of times. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this character that represents a pause for the user input, meaning a click on the screen, right? So I'm gonna do that. Try the command again. Awesome. So it says specify leader arrow location. So I'm gonna do that. I can select anywhere on my screen here and then over here. And then type 2 or whatever. Click OK. We're really close to what we want, but first let's see why this is coming so small. So let's see. Let me inspect this. Oh, this is a different block, but let's see this one over here. So let me go to the properties. Overall scale is 48, and for this one I'm sure, oops, the overall scale is 1. That's not right. Okay, so for the scale, let's see how we can fix the scale and include that in our macro code also, so we don't have to worry about the scale never, right? That's the goal, to streamline this process. How can we streamline that also? Okay, there is an option called multi-leader scale. So let's try that, multi-leader scale. So if we don't know about this option or system variable or command, let's type F1 or click or select the F1 on our keyboard so that we can get some help from AutoCAD, right? So let's see. I got the Autodesk help window on my second screen. Let me go ahead and move it. For some reason my computer is so like I was explaining, there is an option called a multi-leader. So let's try that option. Scan and let's type F1 just to get, if we don't know anything about this system variable, again you can just hit the F1 to get some information. So this will help us set the overall scale factor for applied multi-leaders, right? For multi-leader objects. So let's see. Okay. All right. So let's try that. Let's try to use that. Let me close this. I don't need it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get inside my macro code again and try to implement this. Let's go to the macro code again, and what I'm gonna do is before we insert our multi-leader, I would like to use this multi-leader scale and press enter, of course, to accept that, to activate that system variable. And I'm gonna use a symbol or dollar symbol with the M and the equals to let AutoCAD know that I'm gonna start a diesel expression here. A diesel expression is a more advanced way to utilize macros in AutoCAD. And for this portion, oops, I forgot the other dollar symbol. But what we want this diesel expression to do is, in parentheses, we want to get a variable. What variable we want? We want this system variable called dim scale. If you don't know dim scale, it's a very useful system variable in AutoCAD that will help set a scale for your overall drawing dimensions, so on. So I need to accept this, of course, with another enter. All right. And of course, let's not forget this underscore that lets AutoCAD know that a command is coming, the multi-leader command. So let's go ahead and click OK, and let's see what we get. All right, let's see what we get. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this one over here, like so. Maybe 4. Click OK. So as you can see, our tag is now being inserted bigger, but maybe way too big, right? Let's go to the properties, and you can see the overall scale is 96. But for this one, which is the correct size, it's 48. Now, that's fine because again, that's now controlled by our dim scale, our drawing scale. And that needs to set that way. It needs to vary because it all depends on our viewport, all right? Let's say we'll have a viewport. Let's get inside the viewport by double clicking on it. Let's say we have a viewport of 1/4 scale, right? Let's see that. Or we can have a viewport of whatever 316 or so on. But let's say we have a viewport of 1/4. So we will need we can set the scale again with the dim scale options, pressing enter, and right now it's set to 96, but we can set that to something like 48. That's for 1/4, and that way when we insert our wall tag, it will come on the correct size as you can see it, right? So if you check the properties, that's 48. Again, that's a quick and easy way to always have your wall tag in the correct manner. Now, we have another problem here, guys. Now that we solve the scale or streamline the scale of our wall tags, we have another problem. So let me erase this. Is you can see that this other wall tag, it only comes without the arrows, but here it comes with this big arrow, and we don't want that. So in order to solve that, we need to understand the style of the multileader. Check this multileader and go over here. It says multileader style is wall tag. And let's see this one over here. Multileader style says standard. That's the problem, right? So let's see if we can streamline also that part. So let's go back to the code, and over here, how do we do this? So there is another system variable in AutoCAD called CM leader style. And again, if we don't know anything about this, we can type the F1, and this will provide us some information. This sets the name of the current multileader style. Great, that's what we were looking for. Close this. That's the only issue with this Autodesk help window that it takes some time to open and close. It's okay. Let's give it a couple of seconds. All right, we're back here. So, knowing this, we can implement a multileader style to our macro code right here. And let's do that, right? See how we are doing with time. We're good. Okay. So let's go back to the macro code and implement that system variable CM leader style, and of course press enter to accept that. And the leader style was wall tag, and press enter to accept that. So let's quickly test that. Wait, okay, let's click test that. Let's see, I need it over here. Notice that I'm still um, entering the information or the text on my multi-leader. We're gonna streamline also that process in a moment, and you can see how beautiful now we can insert our wall tag without that arrow. All right, so now that we have this option set up, I mean this macro setup in the right path, let's go to the ribbon now and do the final phase. What I'm trying to do is, instead of me wasting time creating from scratch three different commands layout over here, I'm gonna reuse any of these ribbon panels that I like. For instance, I like this one, this text multi-leader. You see how it has these um, different options that I could select. This will work beautifully for my three different uh, wall tags text that I need to insert. Great. Okay, so I'm gonna find this annotation panel and simply reuse this exact command. All right. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, let me go to the CUI, and over here, what we can do is go to the ribbon. Let me expand this so you can see better. Now, notice that this annotation panel is inside the home tab. So that's important also. So home, here we go. And annotation right there. That's the text. That's the dimensions. Okay, great. That's what we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, duplicate, rename. I don't know, that's all up to you, but I can say wall tags if I want to. That's all up to you. Um, Now make sure that display name over here is also changed. Otherwise it will still read as home 2D. So I want to make sure and apply those changes. And now I have this wall tag. Now before I modify this, what I'm gonna do is add this all the way up to the tab. These are called tabs on the ribbon. Lazy Arquitecto. So let me find that. Lazy Arquitecto is right here. Have only one tab. Have only one panel. These are called panels. So let's click and drag all the way up till I see the Lazy Arquitecto tab. Here we go. So let's release it like so. Great. Now, before we keep modifying and adding stuff, a good practice, and I'm telling you this from experience, is to simply see the changes. So that way, if nothing was added, you didn't waste your time, right? So let's see first over here, and great. Our lazy wall tags was added to the ribbon. That's great. Now what we can do is simply eliminate the commands and options that we don't need, like all of these commands over here. So let's do that really quick. Ribbon, tabs, Lazy Arquitecto. Notice that we cannot edit the lazy wall tags panel from the tabs option, but we can do it from the panels option. So let's go back and here we go. All right. So now, so to really understand what I need to erase or remove, a good practice is to simply go over here on the preview and click on it. So once you click on it, AutoCAD automatically is gonna highlight that command or section. So now I know that I can erase this. I'm gonna right click and remove. Say yes. Great. Now I can continue and click here. And I don't need this one either. So I'm gonna remove that. Say yes. And I'm gonna keep doing the same steps really quick. Table, move, yes. So notice that even though we removed the commands from this panel, there's still row number 3 and it's empty. So let me remove that also. All right, great. Now and notice also that row 2 is empty right here. So let me erase that. Delete, yes. And now let's see, let me hit apply and click OK, just to see that the changes are showing. Great. See how I now only have the option that I need, so that we can quickly add our lazy wall tags over here. Isn't that great? We didn't have to design anything, start from scratch. If you know the lazy architecture, you know we don't like to waste time. So let's go back to the CUI and add our macro now. Let's select this and the text option. And over here, again, we have two different commands. What I like to do is create a brand new command using this star icon. And we're gonna, let me expand this. We're gonna add lazy I mean, it's fine. I'm just gonna simplify this. I can say tag wall tag 1. Let's keep it simple. Wall tag 1. And oops, let's see if I can. Nice. I can still access my macro. So I'm gonna go to the properties and simply copy this and go back and paste my code. Right click, hit paste, and I'm gonna click OK. All right, wall tag 1. I could pick an image from here. That's all up to you. You can create your own image if you want. I can show you how to do that. Okay, let's just pick anything for now. And I hit apply. So now a new command was created over here under the command list. And what we need to do is left click and drag it all the way up here. Oops, not right there, but over here. All right, great. So wall tag. Now that we have wall tag 1, see what we can do that. Of course, we don't need any of these commands, right? We can erase them or remove them. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Remove, yes. And again, before I keep doing anything else, I am gonna hit apply and click OK. That's very important. You don't want to do everything at once and then realize nothing was changed. Okay, great. See that we have only one option, wall tag 1, which that's what we did. Great. So let's add a couple more options. So let's do that really quick. Okay, panels, lazy wall tags, and here we go. Now that we have created the wall tag 1, what we can do is simply duplicate, right click and hit duplicate, and that way I can rename it wall tag 2 and hit apply. I could add that wall tag 2 again under here, under the lazy wall tags option, and I can do the same steps to create wall tag number 3. So 3, create a different, select a different icon, hit apply, click and drag it like so. Great. Now that we have our 3 different options, let's add, let me show you how to insert the multileader with a default text. In order to do that, okay, I'm gonna click OK just to test things out. I'm gonna click that. Great, we have 3 different options. Let's say I'm gonna insert my multileader for my wall tag with the text number 2. I'm gonna select that option and I'm gonna click and stop right there. Now notice that still is asking me to input my text. That's not right. Let's gonna fix that. But let's see. Let's click OK. All right, great. So did you notice that when I insert my multileader, I have to click 2 times, right? One for starting the multileader and a second time to place my block over here. So 2 clicks. Okay, let's add those 2 clicks to the code. So I'm gonna simply type here wall tag 2. I'm gonna do it for wall tag 1. So I'm gonna edit the code to add this default text number 1. So the way I'm gonna do it is, right now we are giving them the option to the user to click only once with this /, but we realize that 2 times are clicked while inserting our multileader, and then we are prompted to enter our text. In this case would be number 1 for the wall tag 1, but that's all up to you, right? Everyone works different. So number 1 is just to give you an idea. You can input any text, ex1, whatever, and then we need to accept that with an enter. So I'm gonna click OK and apply, and let's see how that works. Let's see if that works. Let's test it. Let me select wall tag 1 and let's go over here, click, and you can see it's still asking me to input my text. That's a problem. So let's cancel. it's a little challenge. We have a little challenge right here, guys. But let's see how we can solve this. So there is another system variable called ATT rec or require. And again, if we don't know anything about this, let me press F1. I know it's gonna take some time, but you have to see this. It's important so you can understand the whole idea. So ATT require rec system variable controls whether insert uses default attribute settings during insertion of blocks. Great, that's what we need. And right now, the values are 0 and 1, and we saw that the value that I had was 1, and it says that turns on prompts or dialog boxes for attribute values. So we want to set that to 0. So let me close this. Again, I said it's gonna take some time, but it's important for you to understand these concepts and take you or walk you from all of the challenges and troubles and solutions, so you can better understand how we can create macros and you can create your own macros, right? That's why we have this membership area, the lazy professionals, to we have that goal in mind, right? To help you create your own macros, your uh, based on your own needs. So that's why I like to share my whole process and not just a beautiful code where you didn't know how I arrived to that point of the code. So anyway, my AutoCAD is frozen a little bit. Let's give it a couple of seconds. But we're very close there, guys. So we're gonna try to insert or add this system variable ATT rec or require, and we're gonna set it to 0 so that way wrap up this awesome tool for wall tags. All right, let's go back to the CUI and find wall tag number 1, and we need to insert this system variable in the very beginning. So I'm gonna type AT, you do in capital so you can see it better, ATT, and enter, and that would we would set that to, was that 0 or 1? I forgot. Let's try 0. Let's press enter. No, let's try 1. And all right, ATT rec, enter 1, and enter. Okay, let's click OK. Let's click apply. Click OK. All right, here we go one more time. Wall tag number 1. Click, and nope, it's still asking for that option. Okay, let's try this other system variable ATT and let's type F1 one more time, even though we know it's not a good idea. Oh my goodness. ATT controls whether the insert command uses a dialog box for attribute value entry. Two system variables only to avoid those dialog boxes. It's crazy, right? 0, 1 uses a dialog box, uses command prompts. That's the option that we want. We want the option number 0. So let's close that. Now move. Okay, finally. Let's go to the CUI. Wall tag number 1. and let's go ahead and add our system variable att dia, and let's set it to 0. Press enter and let's click OK and apply. Okay, so when we test our wall tag, notice that we could even go farther to streamline even farther this process, because you can see right now I need to somehow align and kind of get that snapping so I can click, and that's not right. A user will quickly need to place his wall tag in whatever location without even um, have the need to do this, right? To find a snap point. That's not right. Let's see if we can also fix that. But let's finish first with the default text. So I'm gonna click there, and boom, guys, boom! Finally, a multi-leader insertion with a default text. Now let's quickly go um, to the code and add that thing that I mentioned you about avoiding or how can I tell this? So let's add the option to snap on any wall at any moment, and that option is the near option. So I'm gonna type over here when it says wall tag, that's where before I click 2 times, I'm gonna add the option near, that's the snap option to um, to be able to snap on any wall. And of course I'm gonna present it, right, to accept that. um, so, and before I close this, I'm gonna copy all of this code and I'm gonna hit apply, and I'm gonna go to my wall tag number 2 and paste this code with the only difference of this number 1, because this would be number 2. All right, hit apply and do the same step for my wall tag number 3. Paste, change my number to number 3 and click OK. Once I hit apply and click OK, you're gonna see how easy it is to place your wall tags in AutoCAD. Are you ready for this? Wall tag 3, wall tag 1, wall tag 2. And here is the bonus. Instead of ending your insertion, I'm gonna repeat that by adding this. This is bonus, guys. Are you ready for this bonus? I'm gonna add this asterisk at the beginning, hit apply, and do the same for my other wall tags. Asterisk, hit apply, and what this is gonna do is basically is gonna repeat that insertion point. I mean that insertion. So I'm gonna click OK, apply, and hit OK. Are you ready for this again? So let's go. Let's do it. Wall tag 2. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Wall tag 1. Awesome. This feels actually like a video game. It's so nice and relaxing and all right, here you have it, guys. It took us forever, but we achieved it. This command macro was great, but this is the macro that improved my workflow forever.